Crafty friends. Hello, hello. Roberta, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, babe. That's wonderful. Before you ask, yes, in fact, I think maybe Margie commented on this already. Yes, our store was down last night. Maintenance did not go well and didn't go up fast, but it's back up now. So, yes, you can now place your orders. No, I have not yet sent an email because the store was down and I couldn't get in to do all the links. So, we'll get you taken care of. The store is now up. I've been on the phone with technical support. The store is now up and fully operational. So, yay, us. We did that. Um, It's good to see everybody out there today. I see Roberta and Ruth and Thelma and Annette and Sharma. Hi, guys. It's nice to see you this afternoon. Sue. Hi, Sue. Good to see you guys. Margie's just scrolling through the list there so I could see who else was out there. So that's what has been going on. We have not. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Stephanie. We have not, I have not gotten the email out yet for What's New Wednesday, but I'll get that taken care of. So sorry about that, but sometimes technical issues get in the way of our very best intentions. And
just so you know, what's here is what's on the camera for you on the TV is my computer, not this computer. So if you want to be able to see yourself the whole time, you need to switch to your other channel on your TV.
On what now?
It's okay.
I want to be able to see. Yes, I do want to be able to see the crafty.
If I have to go to the store, that's what you'll see up here because you're on this computer, not on this computer.
So what do you need me to do? You need me to change
your channel changing thing is between the four HDMI things.
Yeah, it's number 2. You could probably reach over and tap number 2. I'm number 2. No, my number 2 is my computer. Sorry, number 2 is my computer. So it's going to be number 3 or 4. Just hit those. Yeah. No, not that. Not that. Just let that disappear. It should disappear on its own in a second. This little box is what controls what we see on TV.
By pushing this?
Yeah. And there's it on the front. There's little lights for number 3 and 4 are showing.
Not yet. We're on 4.
Okay. That didn't work.
You have to just run it
through. Okay. Here. I can exit from here. I think.
I already got it. It says it's on 3 now.
I was getting the menu off the screen.
Perfect.
Okay. So.
Sorry, guys.
Let's talk about what we're going to do today. Can you put my hands, put the little screen up, please? There we go. Here are here's our cards for, what's she doing? This and this. Yeah. And this. And this is not one of them. Brittany, what are you doing, babe? This is one of last week's cards. I'll have to, you can tell her about it when she comes back in. She's not going to like me, but she'll figure it out. Okay, so let's talk about what we have this week. I'm so much in love with these cards for this week, guys. Look here. Hi, Martha G. Good to see you. By the way, is everybody hearing me okay today? If you can give me a 1 or a 1 to say, yep, we hear you, that would be good. That would be good. Look at this one. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty and almost a little sexy, I think, with the red lace and the black. Isn't that pretty? It is. Isn't it kind of sexy? I think it is. Brittany, we were debating, is this kind of a sexy card with the red lace? Margie's about ready to fall off the desk, guys. She's over there just cackling. But, you get from me what you get sometimes. I think it's beautiful.
I think it is
but I think it's
beautiful.
I think it's.
I don't think of cards
as okay. Yes, lingerie. Annette said, "Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Annette." See, my sister would stand with me, won't
so,
you,
so we're
Annette?
calling this a little racy. Is that what?
No, it's the red lace and the black, you know? Margie's still losing it, guys. And Sharma said, yes, very sexy. Thank you, Sharma. Now, this is more delicate. This is more delicate, dainty, ultra feminine. Naughty Kitty needs to join you. But this is, I think this turned out beautiful too. I love this one. Here's our third one using the foiled sentiments for today. Margie's still losing it, guys.
I can see myself make it and then hand it to my husband and say, now, isn't this sexy? I don't think he'll think that. Sorry, visual. It's all
This is today's card also. Today, Stephanie, we're doing, she's still just losing it, guys. Oh my gosh. All right.
17.
This right here, did you share that card with Brittany that's in the wrong batch?
Not yet. wrong kit. Not doing today.
This was Saturday's card. And it was in this stack that you gave me. So I'm not sure you have it in that stack. Okay, so here's our other card for today. I do love this one too. I think when we make this again, we might move this down just a little bit further into the circle, but I do love this one. See what I did here when I put the stickles on the lace? I love that. I love the little roses. I love the way that the foils kind of play together. I like that sentiment off the sentiment sheet. Selma says I need a cold shower. Okay. Oh, I needed a good laugh today, guys. You guys are the best. Okay, we're doing this one, and I'm going to share a secret with you about my wonderful love and little hearts here when we do this one. Isn't that wonderful and feminine and pretty? I love that one. And this one, they're triple hearts and then the double hearts there. I love the way this plays together. I think this is really fun. Really fun. Margie would be a hoot to take to a bachelorette party, and that's it.
Only if you send out the sexy card.
Only if you have sexy cards, she said.
Okay.
Okay, and then this one, I made a sexy cards for my customers with lace and ribbons and sold a lot. So this one I thought was fun because remember the panel card we did last week where we used 3 of these and we had this one heart that we couldn't use? Look at this one, taking that one little heart and making a card out of it. I love this card. I think that turned out fun. Fun. So there we go. We have actually a bunch of cards for today, so we better get started. We are going to assemble our 3D punch-outs.
So is one of these ones not supposed to be in this pile then?
No, all of those belong in that pile, and these 6 belong in this pile. Sorry. So I was confusing Brittany with which cards go with which pile, but she is working on our kits for this and for Saturday's cards as we speak. And for those of you who have been waiting for your looms to get here, looms are here. How did we list those, Brittany? Did we list them by color, or what did we do with those? Did you just list them? Okay, she did them by color again, so you can go in and choose your color. And those who have been waiting on the looms, they are now here.
Do you want me to go ahead and push them to the store?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we didn't. Yes, she's going to push them to the store. Got it. Big Commerce, as we know, has been down, so they're not out there yet, but she's pushing them to the store now. So there we go. All right. Grab some foam squares here. I think the foam squares that are going to be in your kit are going to be 1 millimeter. I'm just grabbing the ones I have sitting here, but yours are going to be the little bit lower 1 millimeter squares because I think those are gonna, we're trying to not duplicate too many of the supplies between the 2 weeks. So we're trying to save you guys some money. And I wanted 1 millimeter for sure in last week's kit. We're just going to put one full sheet for the 2 weeks. So anyway, I'd like you guys to pray for my mom this week, if you would, please. Her prognosis has changed and or potentially changed, and my family and my mom could use some love and support. So if you guys would pray for my mom this week, I'd really like that, please. Thank you. Her name's Peggy, by the way. So let's get going here. All right, let's stack these up. These are such pretty toppers. Don't bother to ask where do I find them in your store because we have the very last of them in this kit. So if you are wanting to do these, pick this kit up. I will tell you that because we're sharing papers between Saturday and today, in order to get today's kit, you'll need the Saturday kit also. I know your next question is going to be, how much are the kits going to be? And the answer is, hopefully we'll know before we're done here today. I don't know for sure. Brittany's over there shaking her head, but we'll have them done and up by tomorrow. Yeah, we had a very disappointing doctor's appointment yesterday, and you know, we thought we were headed in one direction, and it seems that things have progressed potentially in some different directions. So both mom and us, we could use some help and support. And I know you guys are always out there, so I thank you for that. We love and take care of each other, don't we? Isn't it special to have a community, even an online community like this, where you know that you can reach out to your friends and, you know, your friends are just there for you. This group is so good about that. And I thank you for that. You guys are a gift to me. So we need to move on from that topic because my emotions are too high at the surface on that one. And we will not be crafting very well if I can't see what I'm doing.
Well, just start working on your sexy card.
Yeah, we'll start working on the sexy card now. We'll take care of that. Yeah. I'll be cackling and laughing and carrying on here. That will be good. I bet he's playing canasta, but she's stopping in to say hello. So we had a notice from Betty yesterday that her books are being carried in a bookstore and that so she's very excited about that. And so congratulations to Betty on that. And yeah. So these are just like the prettiest toppers ever. So, so pretty. I think this card, this first, the sexy card, is going to be really easy to do because we only need black cardstock, red lace, and our little die from kit 1. And that's all it takes to get that one done. But it's just so beautiful. So I'm excited to do that. Margie's now laughing about sexy cards again. Oh, she's losing it, guys.
Nope, I just have a thought in I'm not sharing it.
She's thinking things she won't share with us. You guys know I never do that. It pops into my mind and out my mouth, much to the chagrin of my husband, who's always saying, "You can't say that." Well, I do. Betty McSorley says those black and red cards remind me of can-can dancers.
There you go.
They're sexy cards, aren't they, Betty McSorley? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh, Margie, come on. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh.
I'll tell you after.
All righty. Margie uses such good judgment in what she says, quite unlike some of the rest of us. Brittany's over there going, "Yeah, speak for yourself, Aunt Debbie." Speak for yourself, woman. Okay, the assembly of these is pretty easy as always. We're punching them out. We are layering the pieces, largest to smallest. Look how striking that is. Isn't that just the most beautiful thing? Wow. Okay. All right, let's come over here. We have one more to assemble, and then we'll take off and start constructing some cards. Brittany and I are going to have to kind of share back and forth what I need here since the kits are going together as we speak. But, you know, we can do that because we're pretty clever. All right. I will tell you when you punch these out that it takes, you have to be a little bit careful with this foiled 3D, guys, because it's very delicate and it bends easily. So it does take a little extra care in punching these out, but I think you'll agree that the words are that the results are absolutely worth it. So very pretty. So pretty. So do be careful not to bend them. They will bend, they will crease. They will give you little bits of irritation here and there, but the results are absolutely worth it. You know, we talked before about defects. I do believe that Paulette may have had these I'm not positive, but I believe that Hot Off the Press had these papers made in conjunction with defects. So I have some very exciting news for you. You guys who have been with me for a while know that the Brandees distinctively has always been one of the brands. Well, it's not a huge brand. It was a brand that I have always thought was just some of the prettiest dies ever made. They, oh my gosh, there's some of the ones that she's done that I have just fallen in love with. The standing deer, you guys have seen that deer on so many different cards, and you've heard me bemoan the fact that I couldn't get those anymore. There was a Merry Christmas die that I have used over and over and over again. There was a hummingbird die that I've sold hundreds of over the years. And when I heard that D's Distinctively was going out of business, I was just devastated because I love that brand. Well, come to find out, D's Distinctively is not out of business. I had the most remarkable conversation this week with a woman named Deanna, who is the designer D behind D's Distinctively. She is not out of business, and we are going to be able to place a new order with D's Distinctively. And D's Distinctively has lowered their pricing range to be more competitive, despite the fact that D's Distinctively is made in the United States. Hardened steel dies, some of the best dies. I mean, Tattered Lace's claim to fame used to be that they made their dies in the United States. They now make them in China. D's Distinctively is still made in the United States out of hardened steel. We are going to be able to get D's Distinctively back in stock. We will be buying directly from D of D's Distinctively. I could not be happier. I am so elated to be able to bring you these ultra beautiful, super high quality dies supporting a US manufacturing. She's actually Canadian, but supporting Canadian and US business without the involvement at all of the Chinese. Yay. And I just could not be happier. It was such a wonderful time to be able to talk with her and learn what's been going on with her business and to help her combat the pirating that has happened of some of her beautiful designs. You could do US merchants such a favor by refusing to buy those cheap knockoff dies. For one thing, those cheap knockoff dies that you can get, unfortunately, on Amazon has a lot of them. Those cheap Chinese knockoff dies, well, they might seem like a good deal, are such a bad deal in so many ways. First, they're destroying the commerce of good people who deserve our support and who did all the work, and that only to have their intellectual property stolen. And secondly, the dies that you get on those super duper cheap Chinese dies are nowhere near the quality. They're cheap imitations. They will not hold up the same way. They will not maintain a cutting edge that you get with hardened steel dies here in the United States. And yes, Betty, she's from your neck of the woods up there, so that doesn't surprise me at all to hear that you've taken classes directly from Deanna. So we are back in business with D's Distinctively. In fact, I was just saying to Brittany, we're going to have some fun later today. When she gets her kits done and I finish in class here, we're going to sit down and go through the currently available dies, and we're going to put in an order post haste. Deanna reached out to me, which I thought was wonderful. She had a question for me for something that she saw on her website, and she reached out to me, and we had a wonderful multi-hour, actually we had multiple conversations and a multi-hour conversation, and really had a nice time catching up and learning about each other. She's excited to be doing business with Simply Special. I'm excited to be doing business with her. You can expect that we will be promoting the heck out of Dee's Distinctively, because I want to do everything I can to help her rebuild back up her business after the damage that's been done to her business by the Chinese. So I'm going to do everything in my power to jump in and help her. And, I think she's one of the most talented designers out there. So, wahoo, I'm excited. Expect to see that in the near future. We will be having a D's Distinctively event, and we will be presenting new and old favorites. I'm so excited about some of the ones we're going to be able to get. I took just a quick glance at the available chart just a little bit ago, and it's just going to be great fun. It's going to be great fun. So I'm so looking forward to it, and more news to come on that front. But what good news that was. I'm just so excited. So there we go. D's Distinctively. They were off our radar for a little bit, but they definitely are still kicking, and we are back with D's Distinctively. So there we go. And by the way, when I said to you that they were out of business, I was relying on information provided by one of our distributors. That information was incorrect, and I should never have said it. Although I didn't really have a way to independently verify it, it would have been nice if I had independently verified that before I repeated it. So my apologies to you for incorrect information. And should she happen to hear it, my apologies to Deanna of D's Distinctively for sharing information that was not accurate. So, yes, we will absolutely be there to help Dee build up her business. And I had indicated to her when I talked to her that I really wanted her to get her drawing board out and get really busy designing some new stuff for us, because I totally love Dee's Distinctively, and I want to see new designs coming from Dee's. So there you go. That's Dee's Distinctively story. Yay! What you didn't know you needed to know. All right. Brittany, I need some black cardstock. I need a European A6. I need a little length of our red lace. And that's it. On the wall.
Oh, how handy.
Yes. I just need about 8 inches. So there we go. Here's my card. I need a silver mirror board. I have a silver mirror board right here. It's not the right size, but I'll cut it to fit. Let's just get going with that. I'm so excited about that, though. Isn't that neat information about D's Distinctively? I'm just so happy about that. I just couldn't be happier than to know that brand is back, because she really, really is talented. Really talented. I learned something I had not known before. Do you know that Dee of D's Distinctively designed a lot of the Dazzle sheets? That the really, some of the Dazzles that we used to get from hot off the press
That
were.
makes sense, though.
Huh?
That makes sense.
Yeah. If you think about the really elegant designs that we saw, she did those. She actually designed those. So who knows? Maybe down the road, maybe we'll be able to do something else fun. We're a little company, though. I don't know that we can afford to actually, sponsor a design, but you never know. It could happen. It could happen. So anyway, it was great fun to talk to her. I'm so excited. So excited. Hi, Glenn. How you doing, friend? Okay. I'm going to take this European A6. Now, I was talking with a new customer tonight. I hope she's out there today. Her name is Mary D. and hopefully she'll be signing on. Oh, Mary wants me to have her do a teddy die and a matching stamp. Why doesn't that surprise me, Mary? um, what was I going to say? I lost track. That was Oh yeah, Mary D. Mary D is a customer from Sandy, Oregon, and she's pretty new. She just found our videos not long ago, and she was so excited. She came in last night and picked up an order, and we had a chance to chat for a while. And she was going to try to learn to sign on today. If she didn't figure it out yet, she's probably still out there. So let's say a big hi to Mary D. Mary D. And give her a big hello, because I think she'll be watching. If she's not watching now, I know she'll be watching later. So give her a good welcome, because I was encouraging her to sign on, and she said, I wouldn't know what to say. So give her a big welcome.
Oh,
there's Danielle. Hi, Danielle. And so that's going to be fun to have her join us. Let me get my paper cutter out here. I got these cards scattered all over the place. So in case you haven't figured it out, we're doing our sexy card first. We're doing this one. I don't know. You can vote. Give me a 1 or 2. Is that a sexy card? 1 for sexy card. 2 if you don't think it's any card is sexy. Give me a 1 or 2. Is it a sexy card? I think it is. I think it's kind of sexy. Margie over there.
It's actually classified as sexy. You win. However,
Mary R gives a 1. All right. She may hear this dialogue today about sexy cards and run for the hills too, but I don't think so. She seems pretty gay. Look at this. Look at this. Thelma said 100.
Yes, I
Martha G says 1. Mitzi says 1. Annette says 1. Very. Roberta says 1. So I rest my case. Ruth says 1. But Ruth's my buddy. She hangs in there with me. Okay, I'm going to cut this black cardstock to be a layer on this European A6. I wanted to tell you, last night when I was talking with Mary, I realized that I use a lot of the Mary D, we don't bite, Sharma says. I use a lot of times I'll use the term European A6, and I had not defined that. So I want to go through something with you really quickly here about European sizes, because I went over this with Mary last night. It was like the lights went on. So if you have a pencil and paper handy, grab those. I'll give you a minute to do that. And then I'm going to talk to you about European sizes and what size things are, so you'll know, and what the most common European sizes are and why I use them.
3 feet for 4 loops?
Say again?
You did a 4 loop. Is that going to be 3 feet?
No, it'll still be 2 feet. Will get it done.
Okay.
Yeah, grab a piece of paper, and I want to talk to you about the most common European sizes and why I use them. So I'm going to give you a minute to get a piece of paper, because Mary D said she had been really confused, and it really helped her last night when we went over that.
Mary D, I agree. It was difficult for me to begin with too.
So I'm cutting a piece of this black cardstock to be 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. Those are my dimensions, which should be a perfect match for this silver, and it is. See, my mirror board shows all the way around. Now, let's see. Brittany just tossed me a piece of my red lace. And what I'm going to do with my red lace is I'm going to, now my adhesive would show through this, wouldn't it? Sharma says this card is sexy with the lights on. love you guys. Thank you for supporting me.
Well, with that note, you said that this sexy card won't take long at all.
All right.
That's my hand.
All right. I got to put some more caffeine free. I think I've had enough caffeine from the sounds of me. I'm already ill behaved. If I get any more jittery, it will not be a good state of affairs. All right. So toss some caffeine free Diet Coke in that cup. All right. So I've got this piece of red lace. And because it is so very lacy and see-through, part of what makes it sexy,
Move on.
We're going to keep the adhesive. We're going to put the adhesive where it's not going to show. So let's look at how our card lays out on our paper. And we're going to put our adhesive down in this area where it's not going to show behind our card. So I'm going to take a piece of my tape. Mary says, "Ooh, baby, baby."
You guys have all lost it. No, Annette, you're not changing me. I just keep a lot to myself. But I figure if we're going with ooh baby baby and sexy with the lights on, we're good to go.
I'm going to put a piece of my tape right there where it's going to be covered up by my topper. When I put it on there, I'm going to put my lace over the top of that, centering it. I'm going to flip. That's just to hold it in place from the front. I'm going to bring this around. Okay. We're going to put some adhesive under this lace on the back. Keep it in place. Poor Glenn didn't know what he was getting into today, did you, Glenn?
Well, he wanted underwear, so.
Oh, that's true. Glenn is the one who said he wanted underwear for our last knitting class, so. All right, here we go. All right. Don't you guys think laughter is absolutely the best medicine? Get those endorphins going and you. Although poor Roberta, recovering from surgery, we're probably making her laugh, and that might not be fun. I'd say I'm sorry, Roberta, but I'm really not. All right. I'm going to put this. Oh, I needed a good laugh today, so I thank you guys for being there to give me a reason to chuckle. Okay, I've got my tape flags on the back. You guys have your pencils and paper handy? Let's write down some measurements. One piece of adorable scoreable or insert material or any of our typical papers from Hunky Dory. That's known as an A4. That's kind of the British equivalent of our 8.5 by 11, you know? But in... Is it Debbie's secret instead of Victoria's secret? Jane G says. She wants to know what she's walked into. So a European A4 paper is 8 approximately. It's just very slightly off because it's actually done in centimeters instead of inches. But in our US measure, an A4 sheet of paper is 8.25 by 11.75. So kind of close to our 8.5 by 11, but it definitely has some differences. Now you take that And if you were to cut that in half or fold that in half, you would have a measure that's the same size as a European A5 card. When you see A5 or C5, A5 is usually the measure for a card, C5 is the measure for an envelope. And that card is going to be 8¼ inches by 5 5/8 inches. That's an A5. We don't do a lot of those, but however, we have done a couple A5s in this kit. This is an A5 right here. I'm taking one piece of, Glenn says, what y'all been drinking?
Apparently Diet Coke.
Yeah, apparently Diet Coke. With no mixers, believe it or not. So that becomes an A5. The most common piece of paper or card blank that I use in making our cards is a European A6. I love them because using a European A6, I can get 4 card toppers, 4 cards out of one A4 sheet. See that? I can get 4. I can't do that with an 8.5 by 11. So an A6 is the equivalent of 1/4 of a sheet of A4 or half of an A5 sheet. Each time they cut that paper, it adds to the cutting size. Does that make sense? So an A3 card is twice the size of an adorable scoreable. An adorable scoreable is A4. If you cut that in half or fold that in half, you have an A5. And it becomes an A6 if it's 1/4 of a sheet of adorable scoreable. I wanted to go through that because I'm commonly using the word European A6. Now, why do I choose to use these? Because so many of the materials we make are European. You know, that's kind of our claim to fame. It's simply special, isn't it, that we bring so much stuff in from Europe that you can't get other places. And since A4 is their standard, and I want to get as many cards as I can get out of every piece of material I touch, I use these European A6 cards because they match up with the measurements of that European scale. And this is my most commonly used card blank. Does that make some sense to you guys? And I hope that helps you guys understand when I'm saying European A5, European A6, or an A4. I hope that helps you to understand what I'm talking about. So I wanted to go through that because Mary D, when I was talking with her last night, said, "I'm so most of what you say makes sense, but I don't get these card sizes at all." So I hope that helps. Okay, I'm going to put this heart on my card, and I'm going to put it on here so that I have more room at the top than I do at the bottom, because I want to put my always and forever at the top, and then my always and then my forever at the bottom. I'm going to put some foam squares behind this to hold it on. So there we go. Thank you, Mary D, for sharing that, because she's fairly new to our group. It was good to know that that was something that I was not communicating as clearly as I might. And I hope that helps. You know, it's been my experience that when one person has a question, other people tend to have the same question. So I hope that helps. And just from the for what it's worth department, if you were to take one of this size and fold it in half, what would it be? It will be an A7 card. Oh, good question. Thank you. You know what? I think I'm going to have to. That's actually a very good question. because my margin is on the right. I'm going to alter my card design a little bit. I'm actually going to take this piece here, I'm going to raise it up, and then I'll put my always and forever down here, because when I put that on, my adhesive was high, but that's fine. I can fix it that way. Okay, I'm going to take my, as I figure out what I've done with them, they were sitting here. And where are they?
I saw them over to the left of you.
Look left.
Look left.
Look left, Margie said.
Where's left?
They're there. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I need a little bit of silver, and I happen to have a little bit of silver. Let's put that on there, and let's run this through the machine ever so quickly and get our always and forever for this card. We may not finish all of these tonight, guys, and that's okay. I'll walk you through what I did in each one anyway, and you'll get all these materials in your kit. And thank you, Annette, for asking me if my card was turned the right direction while I still had time to fix it.
That's what laughing and talking so much does, you know. But oh, it's so much fun.
Good night, Thelma. I'm glad you were here ever so shortly at least. So I got my and forever. I really love the die we put in this kit. This is really fun. I don't know if you guys ever have the experience of looking at a die and thinking, I know I could do good stuff with this. But you keep looking at it and you think, I know I could do good stuff with this. What will that be? That's why sometimes I like to put a die in the kits and say, let's talk about how to use that. Let's look at some designs for that die. Because this really is one of those good ones that you should be able to use either for the sentiment or the frame or both. This ought to be one of those dies you use over and over the years. It's really a good one. And we really have discovered some fun things when we got in and played with this one. Okay. Thank you, Mary R., for the thumbs up reminder. I sure appreciate that, friend. Okay. Now, we are going to... Oh, good. That was smart, Sharma, that you made that little chart. I'm going to take... You can clip these two apart. This has always and in one line, but it's very easy to clip the ampersand off of there, which is exactly what we're going to do, because I want the word always at the top now, and then I'm going to do ampersand in its own line, and I'm going to put forever underneath there. Okay? So I'm going to get a little piece of paper with some glue on it here. And I need a pen, because as you know, I leave my glue bottle open way too often. Way too often. Okay, let's get a nice little pool of glue on our scratch paper here. This is one of the ways that you can add detail to highly detailed die cuts or words, and hopefully not get too much glue on the piece, you can create a little pool of glue. I try to show you different ways for doing this stuff too, guys. One of the ways we talked about was using a Nuvo glue pen, and I still love that. But I wanted to show you some other ways too. You can create a little pool of glue and you can just dip your piece. And if you don't get overly zealous with the glue, which I seem to maybe have done a bit in this case, if you don't get overly zealous with dipping it, you can stick it on there and not have a lot of glue coming through. So I just took that off. This is going to dry clear in the lace, so I'm not worried about that. I did want to wipe it off the black though, because I was afraid in the black it might show through. Because black tends to be a pesky color like that. But in the lace, I think it will be fine. So I got my And Forever on. I also got a little glue on the edge because I do these things sometimes. Here's my ampersand. I'm going to put that on. One of the things you can do that helps with not getting us overly carried away with the glue, as I did right there, is kind of smush out that pile of glue a little bit so it's not so thick. And then it allows you to pick up a little less and still get enough to get the job done. So I'm going to dip this always. I'm going to wipe off my fingers before I stick it down so I don't have a... Oh, the black velvet would be beautiful with these. There we go. Oops, I just picked it back up with my paper towel. Okay. Here, my dog. He's not out here. He must be on the inside of the fence, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I think he's waiting for his dad to get goat cookies so they can go visit the goat. That's what that excited bark would be. Okay, now I had a couple pieces left over on my punch out sheet. Let's get one of those. Let's see. Yeah, I have this very pretty little black, red, and silver piece I'm going to add to my card. There goes Bryce to go feed the goat. Teddy is so excited. He's racing down the hill. He loves to go feed the goat. He and Milo run the fence line. Milo jumps up to hug and love on Bryce, and Teddy harasses him. They actually like each other, though. Teddy is part of Milo's herd. And there we go. Always and forever. Teddy and Milo. Shock collars for glue bottles. I like that idea, Sharma. Speaking of which, I think I'll put the cap on mine. If you're designing shock color glue bottles, I'm going to get into compliance. So here's my first one. I turned the design upside down this time because Annette caught me with my fold line on the wrong side. So I just changed my design just a little bit on my second one. They're both equally beautiful. And sexy.
I figured you were waiting for some sort of...
I was just looking for confirmation from Margie, who has now acknowledged this is a sexy card. Thank you, Margie.
Oh.
Okay, next up, I'm going to do this one. So let me look and see if I have a little piece of this rose paper in my papers here. If not, I might have to get one from Brittany, who's putting the kits together.
You
Let
do
me see if I have.
realize that if I show James this later on this evening, after he gets home from work, and I say, you've just got to see this. It's hilarious. And he'll go, you guys have really lost it. And that's going to be the exact conversation I'm going to hear.
Oh, you'll say she has really lost it, but that's okay. Because, you know, worse things have been said about me. All right, let's see. Darn it. I think I've used all of my rose lace paper, Brittany.
Of which one?
The rose lace.
You mean point? Is it the bigger? Oh.
The 6x6 or 8x8, either one. Can I? Do you have a piece I can have? Okay. If you need me to, I will switch to another background paper just to.
Wow, the background paper with 8x8 is what I have the most of. So that's what you're going to get. This one?
Yeah. I have an extra? Cool.
Well, I'm taking it out.
Okay.
You didn't really have an extra.
I didn't have an extra, but you're making me one.
Whole package.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So. I have a goat named Milo, and your granddaughter is Milo. Okay. All right.
How
Let's
crazy
see.
is that?
What?
Annette. How does that work out?
All right. So this has lots of layers. Why? Because I just thought it would be beautiful. And I think it is. We're going to do a 5x5 card. We're going to cover that card in black. Then we're going to cover it in pink. Then we're going to cover it in black. Then we're going to put on a silver. And finally, we're going to get to our design. Now, the trick with this is all those layers need to be narrow. Okay? But isn't it beautiful? And isn't it worth using just a few extra pieces of paper for this? Now, let me tell you another question Mary D asked me last night. She said, you have all these beautiful layered papers, and I want to know, could I cut the insides out of them if I wanted to before I layer them up? And the answer is, of course you can. You might have to put one of your papers on foam squares if you do that, which I actually did anyway. If you're cutting the centers out of your paper so you can use them for other things, it's possible where you have a lot of layers like this that it could actually be weak in the center if you take all of those layers out. But if you kept a couple layers like the silver and the white, and then you put some foam squares behind that and attach to the frame, there's no reason why you couldn't get the centers out of them if you wanted to. So these butterflies I'm using, Mary, are actually right off the 3D punch-out sheet too. So let's get going with this one. I do believe, my love, Brittany, I'm going to need a 5x5 card. I don't see another one there. So if I could have one of those. This is what happens when we're making the kits as we do the video. But, you know, we're pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. People have asked me that before, and of course you can. If it doesn't show, remember my old rule, if it doesn't show, it doesn't have to be there. There you go. If it doesn't show, it doesn't have to be there. But you do have to watch out, like I said, for something getting kind of squishy in the middle because we cut all the middles out. So You may need to support it with some foam squares. That's my only concern. Okay. I'm going to use this piece of paper that Brittany brought me earlier because they're slightly different shades of black. And I want to make sure that my blacks are the same color. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm going to cover my 5x5. Yeah, you could. I mean, if the void was big enough, you could shove a piece of chipboard or cardboard into the void. You absolutely could. You guys all have great minds working along the same lines. Okay. Oh, I told you I was going to tell you all the most common sizes of cards that we use here on the European scale. Let me give you that too. All the sizes I talked about before. Then I would add to that, we use a good number of cards that are 4x8. That's called a DL. I don't know what DL stands for. I don't care what the DL stands for. It's just DL. A, B, C, D, and then the L. DL cards. We make a large number of 5x7s. The Europeans actually make a pretty good number of 5x7s now. They've discovered from us that that's a pretty good size of card to have. So a 5x7 is a common card size we use here. And then I use a variety of square sizes. And those are all European cards too. 5x5, 6x6. Sometimes I get into 7x7, and then very rarely, but occasionally I get into an 8x8. And we even have one in the store that is an A4. That's that great big sheet. If you're making a group card or something, you might even want one that size. But those are the most common sizes we use. And I promised to share that. Let's see. I think my pink I used in this one was a little brighter pink than this. Let me see if I have a little brighter pink. There's the brighter pink. Okay. So if this was 5x5, and I do need to measure it, make sure it's exactly 5x5, which it is. Let's go to just a tad less, or a tad more than 4 3/4. Let's go up just a little bit because I want my margins to be extra narrow on this. So let's go just one line above 4 3/4. Go one line above 4 3/4, and let's see how that looks against our black. Yeah, it sure would. In fact, it's so funny that you would say that because Mary got a set of rectangular dies or square dies, I don't remember which, last night. Specifically, I think we could have made this a true 4 3/4. So let's do 4 3/4, true 4 3/4.
Grace says DL stands for domestic letter. It is used in the business world as a standard letter in correspondence.
Look at you, Grace. See, I surround myself with the smartest people. Thank you. I love that, Grace, that you know that. Thank you.
Well, you know, you think about it in the legal envelope, not the legal envelope, but your standard envelope that you drop checks and things in the mail for.
Uh-huh.
That's
a 9-inch.
It's really close in the same size as a DL card. In fact, if I can't find an envelope, I'll grab one of those.
Okay, let's go ahead and put this down on our card. Then we're going to cut ourselves one that's 4 1/2. And we're going to cut that out of black. So I thought I made these margins skinnier, but I really don't seem to have done that. Everything's going down 1/4 of an inch as we go. So I'm going to put this one on here. I should have used my tape flags, but it actually came out okay. Didn't Debbie show us one yesterday?
Oh, maybe a rectangular die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I showed you a rectangle die yesterday. I sure did. All right. Next, I'm going to cut another black. This one was 4 3/4, so I want this next one to be 4.5 inches square. Which should be a really nice fit on top of here. And that looks beautiful. Now I'm going to get some silver Mary again. I think I might need well, I actually got one here I can steal. I'm going to steal this one. And I'm going to, yes, I showed you a rectangle die yesterday. I sure did. Okay, so this one was 5, 4 3/4, 4.5. This is going to be 4 1/4. This silver. And then when I cut my rose paper, it's going to end up being 4 inches. So let's get that 8-inch paper. And look at this. This 8-inch paper using this card design. Out of this rose paper, you could potentially get 4 of these cards then, couldn't you? You sure could. You could get 4 of these cards with our beautiful rose paper. So I'm going to layer these 3 up, and then I'm going to put some foam squares under this black just for interest. So I can actually glue this one, the mirror board, the back of the Mary on top of this black, which is a little faster than taping. Oops. As long as I don't lay my other stuff right on top of it, which I just did. I do like glue sometimes because when you're trying to make close matches, it really is nice to be able to shift things a little. This paper could go any direction, but I do like it with the roses pointed upward, I think, the best. So I'm going to assume it's directional and put it that way. Hi, Diane. Good to see you, friend. Have you had streaks on your Mary when you're cutting out the inside? That happened with my Gemini. I'll tell you what causes that. The streaks you're getting in your Mary are probably due to lines in your plate. Put a piece of typing weight paper between your Mary and your top plate, and then you won't get those scratches. Does that make sense? That's what's happening. You're getting it off of your top plate, the plate that goes on top of your Mary when it goes through. I've had that happen. That's how I know that. And Margie's over here shaking her head. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. So, more loopy tonight than normal. Yes, it's true. But try that. Put a piece of typing paper, typing weight paper. I'm showing my age again. Copy paper, okay, or printer paper. To me, it will always be typing paper. I'm sorry. That's what I get for all the years I spent working in a business school. It will forever be typing paper. I still didn't get that on there straight. This tape from Craft Style is somewhat movable. It really likes to hang on to mirror board, so you can't always lift this up the way I did. Okay. So I'm going to keep working this till I get this on here straight. I should have used tape flags. And as Roberta so aptly put it, a little loopier than normal tonight.
She was talking about herself.
Oh, but maybe that's me.
Surgery.
Yeah, so, she has an excuse. I don't.
In fact, I was waiting for that to be a smart quip in there somewhere, but couldn't quite get it out.
Yes, tape flags would have been right, Mary. Absolutely true. Tape flags would have been the answer to that question. Hi, Kim R. We are making beautiful cards. Look at this pink card, Kim. Isn't that beautiful, Miss I Love Pink person? Beautiful. Ruth Kelly's doing better because you guys allowed her, because Lauren allowed her to see a preview last night. I knew it would help her feel better. Lovely pink roses. Yes, the hat kits are in. We are ready to ship. They're out there and available for order. One of you asked for a dark kit. I have some black on order from Dollar Tree, and it has not come in yet, but I'm expecting a call any day. So the person who wanted the dark kit, hang on in ordering, or remind me it's the dark kit. I might hold your order a couple of days until that paper gets here, because I thought you might enjoy like a gray and black combination or something of that nature where it would be a little darker.
And if she's purchasing it, if she puts it in notes
Yeah.
that she wants the dark kit, that will help the person in the mailroom
Okay.
be able to know.
I also don't have enough ribbon for everybody yet, so some of them are still waiting on the black anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Brittany says that she was able to do several of the kits, but we're still waiting for the black to come in because we weren't able to get enough of the black to totally fulfill all of our kits. But I have two. You can order cases of stuff from the Dollar Tree, and I ordered 2 cases of black yarn. And we're just waiting for Dollar Tree to tell us it's there. So don't worry, you're getting yours. And they've already shipped me a confirmation that they've shipped it. It just hasn't arrived yet. I made my first hat, tried with a single chenille strand, and it's too airy. I just want to experiment trying with 2 strands for my beautiful pink chenille. Yes, 2 strands is perfect for one of those hats, Kim R. The 2 strands will give you a full enough hat that's warm and pretty and enough bulk to give it some substance. So 2 strands of the pink chenille is exactly the right way to go. Okay. Next, I'm going to take some foam squares. I'm going to place my heart on. Brittany, I need a silver Happy Valentine's Day, please. You know, I thought about this when I did this. I might take my silver and make it black, because I actually think a black Happy Valentine's Day on this one would be pretty, don't you, Margie? Don't you think that the black would be nice?
Yes.
In place of the silver on this?
Yes.
So I'm going to try that. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to color my Happy Valentine's Day black. And let's see. If you don't like it on mine, don't do it with yours. How's that? Diane asked a question. Do we just go online and order the hat kit if we emailed you? Yes. That's exactly what you do. And we'll be tracking the orders coming in so that I can contact those who don't order them and remind them that they requested it and it's here. So we'll just cross them off as the orders come in, and then if I need to follow up with somebody, I will. How does that sound? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here is, remember how we make our butterflies perky? We're going to fold it on both sides of the calyx. Is it the calyx? Yeah, calyx. I'm clustering myself all of a sudden. Both sides of the body. Is it? Is that the
I'm
right
not
word?
sure.
Susan taught me the word, and now I'm questioning
That
myself because my
sounds
brain is a little
right.
fuzzy today. You guys might have figured that out. Yes, my brain's a little fuzzy. And when I'm a little fuzzy like this, I am not constrained
No.
Are
in
you
my thinking.
usually?
I'm not usually anyway, but I'm
Can't
worse.
really blame it on that then.
I'm worse when I'm loopy. And yeah, that calyx doesn't sound right. That's the bottom of a flower. Now I've forgotten the name of the body of the butterfly. You should search that on your phone. So we could use the body, just put in body of a butterfly and see what word it gives you. Because I don't remember. And friend Susan will be disappointed in me if I don't use the correct language. There is thorax. It's the thorax.
I haven't looked it up yet.
It's the thorax. That's what
Are
it
you
is.
sure?
Yes,
Okay.
calyx is the bottom of a flower. Thorax. That was the correct one. All right. I'm going to get my black intensity marker here. I have my sticker. I am going to put some scratch paper under here so I don't decorate my desk even more than I have. I'm going to take a couple of my obvious pokies out of here. The thorax.
Of course, that comes with grade 1 because Emma came home with a butterfly with all the places labeled. She couldn't spell yet. They did it at the beginning of the school year, and they didn't even quite have spelling down. But because it was all written out, and they wrote it down and copied from off the chalkboard, they were able to write the word thorax and all the body parts. So
what?
Apparently, I can retain
first
grade level information.
Stickiness.
I made this.
Okay, I'm taking my silver sticker, my black intensity marker. You don't have to do this. This is an optional step, but I just think this would look good in black.
I think with the black heart, it will make it stand out because the silver is a little bit.
The silver is a little light, isn't it? I noticed that when I made it. So I just think this gives us an opportunity once again to remind ourselves that we can change the color of any sticker we want to.
It says the lifespan of a butterfly is 40 days.
Yeah, I believe that actually longer than I would have thought. I know it's very short. Okay. So that's what they look like when it's first done. Now you'll see that I have some little splotchy black on there. The little splotchy black is from the background paper. I'm going to grab my tweezers here because I don't want that on the splotchy black, and I'm going to dry this a little bit by waving it around, maybe. Come on. This is not difficult. Really. It's not. There we go. Here's my happy. Oh, Kim just learned 2 of her kids in her class have COVID. Okay. All right. I'm going to put happy in this corner.
Martha G wants to know if it means that your filter has slipped. What filter?
My yes.
No slipping.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
I think my filter may have permanently slipped, Martha G, but yeah, I don't have a good filter at the best of times. I think I used up most of my filter, clogged it up when I was in human resources, and I used to constantly stifle my inappropriate thoughts. Now I just let them rip. Now just let them rip. Throw caution to the wind. Happy Valentine's. Yeah. So slipped it may. It may have. What's that?
She's squeaking over there. She's cutting the circles out. There was this
Okay.
She begrudgingly, after she asked me if we needed to cut the circles out, I said yes.
There we go. Here's the with the Happy Valentine's in black. Here's with the Happy Valentine's in silver. I definitely think if you have an intensity marker or a black Sharpie, it's worth changing the view. Although it's pretty both ways, it's definitely easier to see when it's black, don't you think?
I can see it clear from over here.
Yes. Isn't that a beautiful card? I love that card. I love that card. Yeah, the black is better. Okay, done. Let's do another. How are we doing for time, Margie?
We are at 5:20.
5:20. It gives us just about the right amount of time to make one more. Okay. I have this really pretty heart to use. I'm going to see if I have a piece of paper without getting into Brittany's stacks to do this. But I might have to actually use a different sheet.
I threw the 8x8 leftover after the one I took out in the middle. You need it?
Say what?
This was the rest of the set that I can't use anymore because you took one.
Oh, those are 8x8. This was actually a big one.
I don't have that.
You don't have any of this?
Is that, well, I can, but.
I think Teddy is barking at the neighbor dog.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-mm.
You need it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that insert top, correct?
I don't know. It's this one. It's this one.
Wait, is it just the border pieces or is there actually the middle?
It's actually the middle.
Oh, here's a few dogs fighting through the fence that you can go around.
But it's not our dog.
I do not believe so. I
Oh,
don't
good.
see him out there.
Okay, there we go. Brittany's gotten me another one here. This is the piece you want to use. Right here, I need an A5 card, please. Card base. We're going to do one more, then we'll talk about the other two stickers. And I told you I would share some information with you about the pretty hearts and lettering on these two, which I promise I will do. So hang out for more information on. Oh, Deborah, I turned the wrong one. Goodness gracious, I turned the wrong one upside down. Yeah, I'll share some more information with you on these. Okay, so I'm going to use a bigger card. Question for Britt. DH wants to know if what she liked most about Alaska when you lived there.
How beautiful it was all the time.
Can you hear that, Mary R? If you can't, I'll have her come over closer and answer. Can you hear her, Mary R? I agree with that answer, by the way, Brittany. Kim R. Oh my, I'm getting my pink fix. Yes. This is going to be beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. What did you like the least, Brittany?
The day my snot froze to my face on my walk to school.
Your what?
My nose was runny and it was freezing to my face while I was walking to
Oh.
school because it was so cold and I was ready to go home then.
Okay.
You're welcome.
She said what she liked the least was the day that the snot froze to her face on the way to school because it was so cold. Her nose was running and it was so cold that everything got pretty frozen by the time she got to school. And she says, "You're welcome for that bit of information." That's cold. When Brittany graduated, we went up to her graduation, and oh, I will never forget how beautiful that Juneau area is. I mean, every direction you look is either ocean, well, not ocean. What is it? That's river coming into Juneau, right? Or is it a bay? The bay. Yeah, everything was either the bay, so you either saw water or mountains, and sometimes both. Or glaciers. And the number of eagles. Oh my gosh, so many bald eagles in that area. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want to go back to Alaska because one of the things on my bucket list is I will see someday before I die, I will see a wild moose. I will see a moose in the wild because I must. It's just something I must do. I must do. I must see a moose in the wild. There we go.
Not see a moose. I thought mountain goat, that one was
Maybe Canada?
Possibly Canada. I was just thinking I would take a trip up to Alaska and take that train into Denali. Is it at Denali Park?
Yeah.
Where there's so many moose and you can see them from the train, and there's a lodge you can stay in, and they kind of come right out and around, and I just must do that. I just must. So if we can get over the stupid COVID thing and get to a point where we can travel once again. You know what I did this time, guys? I think I put that on the I put that on the wrong side, but it doesn't matter. We're altering the pattern. Once again, I told you I'm a little bit crazy today, okay? I did warn you.
Do what you say.
I am a little bit nuts today. But, you know, you get what you get with me. Come up here and see when Roberta said, well, that might just have to happen, Roberta. It's on my bucket list. Wherever I see one, I just must see one. So I'm game for a trip to Maine. Okay. I'm going to use a slightly different greeting on this one than I did on my original. I'm going to put my greeting high. This is going to look a little different than my original because I put my topper on, technically wrong side up. It doesn't matter, but I'm going this way this time. It doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, Martha G has one of those emojis with the blue face. Bread.
It was right at when I was coming home for winter break, and it was getting colder by the day. And that day, I decided it was time to go home for a while.
While Brittany was up there, she also worked on a charter boat, and were you actually acting like as a naturalist on the charter boat, or assistant naturalist?
But I got to go on as many
okay.
as I wanted.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Did I ever tell you guys the story of the Seymour? When Paula, Bryce's sister, graduated from the same school that Brittany went to, We also went up for Paula's graduation. And while we were there, we made a little vacation of it. And one of the things that we did was go on a cruise of the Tracy Arm, which is one of the fjords that come out of that Juneau area. And it's beautiful because you're cruising down this waterway and the mountains come right up out of the channel. You know, it was cut by a glacier, so the mountains come right up out of the channel and right up the sides of the banks. And I remember thinking as we were there, man, I hope, you know, no boat ever sinks out here, because it's like there's nowhere for the people to go because the mountains come right up out of the channel. And so, but it was a really neat trip. And as you get up closer to the actual glacier that's at the top of the Tracy Arm, there's a lot of broken off chunks of glacier up there floating around in the water. And you saw seals and stuff on those, which was really cool. And lots of marine wildlife. Oh my gosh, so many. And I turned to the captain of the Seymour and I said, is there a risk of puncturing the hull of this ship boat with any of those icebergs, you know, those floating pieces? I guess technically they were icebergs, you know, floating chunks of ice. But is there ever a risk that it could damage the hull of the boat? Because some of them hit us pretty hard as we're, you know, cruising through that area and getting into the wildlife areas and seeing the animals and stuff. And he said, no, you know, these boats are built with double hull construction just for that reason. If you were to manage to puncture the outer hull, you know, the boat would still maintain integrity with the inner hull. And we just had such a wonderful time on that trip. Oh, I will remember it for a lifetime, because we saw so many wonderful animals and so many things, and we got in so close to things and really, really had a good time. So when we came home, we were telling some friends that were going to Alaska about this little day excursion trip we took up the Tracy Arm on a boat called the Seymour. We really liked the captain. We really liked the crew. We just thought it was wonderful. And so we were recommending to them they go on exactly the same excursion we did. So the person called ahead, and this was like a year later. They called ahead and they talked to the tour company and they said, we'd like to book a trip up the Tracy Arm on the boat called the Seymour. And the tour operator said, oh, we have some great excursions up to Tracy Arm. I have room on this boat and this boat and this boat on these dates. And he said, no, we really want to be on the Seymour because our friend told us that she really liked the captain and the crew there and that they were very knowledgeable naturalists on the boat. And, you know, that's the one we'd really like to go on. And she said, well, I have all these other ones. They're just great. And in your dates of travel, I can offer you these choices. I don't have one on the Seymour for that date. And she said, well, just out of curiosity, since the Seymour was one of your best boats, how is it that you don't happen to have the Seymour operating at that time? And the person on the other end of the phone had to say, I'm sorry to say that the Seymour is no more. And she said, what? The Seymour is no more. And she said, no. And pressing it, as my friend did, because I surround myself with people as assertive as I am, pressing it as she did, she said, what happened to the Seymour? He said, it's sitting on the bottom of the Tracy Arm under 1,000 feet of water. And she said, are you kidding? It sunk? She said, yes, it hit an iceberg and it sunk. The Seymour is no more. My friend reconsidered her decision to travel up to Tracy Arm because the Seymour was no more. Fortunately, there were other tour boats in the area that were able to get all passengers off the Seymour before they died. No one died. No one was hurt. They got the boat, they got all the passengers off before the boat went to the bottom of the Tracy Arm.
I'm sure that they are just thrilled about you telling this story.
I'm sure they are.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm sure
went
they
on
are.
it twice and it was beautiful, and you should go if you're up there.
I wonder if that was your tour company. It was many
Alan
years.
Marine.
Huh?
I worked for Alan Marine.
It might have been your tour company. I don't know. But the Seymour is no more. That I know. You heard it here first. Okay. See all the things you learn? I would do it again. I really would. Yeah, I would. And somebody asked, have I ever seen a moose in the wild? No, I have not. Thus being a bucket list item for me. Okay, I have my beautiful decoration on. I'm going to see all this beautiful lace. I would do one of two things if I were you. I would either take a true piece of actual fabric lace, wrap around this card before you put it down to your card, because that would be beautiful, because lace loves this type of frilly Victorian kind of card. Or do what I did, grab your Stickles bottle and make that lace show by making that lace glittery. And that's just a light, keep your touch light, guys. This is one where a heavy touch could easily make this look globby, and that's not our intent. Just move quickly, get the glitter down, but don't stop. Just keep going. It's more important that it's lightweight than it is that it's super accurate. And then I came in and there's in this lace, there's like some little petals. I came into each of those petals and I brought a pretty bit of glitter down, kind of making a little flower in the center. So I just put 4 dashes right where the pretty little petals are in the lace. Then I did 2 other things to my lace that I liked. Brittany, I need some straight line stickers, please.
You don't have any, so be inventive.
Be inventive because I have none over there.
No, you have none in general.
Did you take mine from here?
I could not find any. I took enough to get what I needed. But
Okay.
I had none downstairs.
She said be inventive because I have none here.
I have none downstairs.
Oh, what did you use in those?
I found one sheet and then I stole enough to get enough for everybody to have too.
Okay.
So, don't use the straight line stickers.
Don't use the straight line stickers, use something else, she says. Okay.
I have them in not gold.
You know what we could do that would be really, really pretty? Really pretty? What we could do with these is you could use like the pink straight line sticker. I have gold. No, this is silver, darn it.
You can use silver, you cannot use gold.
I don't have gold. This is a silver topper.
Oh, well, silver is fine. Gold
I actually have a wavy. I'm going to use that.
Okay.
I have a wavy sticker. It doesn't matter.
Yours may vary.
Your stickers may vary, is what Brittany's saying. They will all be beautiful because that's what we do. We create beautiful things, don't we, Margie? Yes, we do is the correct answer there. In case you're having to think on that.
I was having to realize what you were saying and how it clicked through because my mind was in the process of planning out the next strategy for what I need to do while you're videoing.
So
Thank you for
my wavy line is just as good as my straight line. Let me show you my straight line. My wavy line is just as good. And then I want to take some little nail heads. Do you have gold nail or silver nail heads, Brittany?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't even.
Do I have some silver nail heads in the gem store, Margie? Oh,
Right?
MRSA's not good.
The faceted. Are these the right kind?
Yeah,
Okay.
these are perfect. They're different than what I used on my inspiration piece, but they will be just as good. And it's probably what Brittany's going to use because, well, there's too many of them to count and do glue-ons because I used a lot. So I have my little silver there. And then these will actually be prettier than my inspiration card, I believe. I want these small ones. These smaller ones I think will be really pretty. Although I'm going to have to get the whole lot of them out to pick out the ones I want. I'm going to take these stick-on rhinestones and I'm going to probably use my tweezers. These are slightly smaller than what I used, which I believe is going to create a more delicate pattern, which is good. So I'm just going to stick these on here and show you where we're going with this. And then I'll talk you through the construction of the other cards, and your instruction becomes repeat above.
Do you need more of the smaller ones?
I think oh, you got some more. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Because you guys know me, I like to decorate things up and kind of make the pattern my own. So even though I'm using technically a card kit, I am using a card kit and then kind of doing my own thing with it to add on and kind of make these designs, our own for our kit. But I actually think this might be prettier than the other one. We'll see. We'll hold them up side by side. You can see what you think. If you wanted to, on your sticker sheet, there's actually even some littler ones that you could use if you chose to. If you think this is too much, you could go with the even smaller ones, which would be very cool. I love these nail heads, by the way, from yeah, those guys. Okay, so here's what it looks like. My nail heads and my ribbon, and then my little wavy sticker. This is what my inspiration card looked like. With see, I think they're prettier with the more petite ones, don't you? You might even like to use the tiny ones, because the tiny ones might be even better. I still am going to put stickles here on my flowers, and then I'm going to repeat the process at the top. And these will be my, see, I do like, see how I moved to this one in closer? No matter which direction your rose is going, whether it's low like this one or higher like this one, I do like pushing this in a bit more. See what I mean? I think it's prettier in. Don't you agree, Margie? See what I mean? This one kind of stands out of the circle more, and this one I used the circle and kind of pulled the heart a little bit further in, and I liked it a little bit further in. Yeah. So there you go. That's what you're going to get out of that one and how we did that one. That one is dry, so I'll put that one on top of that one. Let's talk about our last couple of cards. When I finish this, I'm going to take this rose border right here, this piece, and I'm going to create an insert out of that, other part of that, so then it's going to be beautiful when I open it. Yeah, pretty. Okay, we have 3 more cards. This one I'm really tickled with, I have to say. Really, really tickled with this one. Can you grab that panel card for me? Saturday, we were,
Which one?
yeah, the tall, the deal, yeah. Saturday, when we were constructing this, we actually had 4 of these images. And when I decided to put this greeting here instead of the 4th image, it left me one image left over that had all prepared. So I made this card out of just that little topper. So let's look at what we did. It's a little tiny topper that can't carry a card on its own. But what I did with it was take that beautiful frame that comes with our always and forever. I set it just in the middle of that frame, and I think that frame really goes nicely with that little square in the middle. This is actually a piece of cardstock right out of my kit with this little border and then the red. So I covered a DL card with that. I took my stars border and I ran it on the red. I started to run it between the two and it was very messy, busy looking. So instead I ran the star border right up the red side, kind of touching the white border, but not going on the white border. And that little stars border was cute. And then if you come in really close, Margie, these little stars are left on the sheet after you pull up that stars border. So I took the little stars and just used them to decorate my void spaces and pull everything together. I just think this turned out cute as can be. And then I added my Happy Valentine's Day, a little stickles on my roses. Way to go. That's it. So we're always talking about if you have these little toppers, make it bigger. In this case, all I needed was the frame around it, and I think it's really pretty. If that hadn't done it for me, what I would have done is put a piece of paper backer behind that frame and cut out around it. And that would have changed the color inside, and that would have actually made that topper bigger. But I didn't think it needed it because I liked the way the colors played together with the roses. And I thought keeping it really simple like that really just kind of worked for me. So this piece of paper is in your kit. You'll just cover your card, allowing about a ½ inch here. And then go ahead and create this one. Okay? Using a European A6 from your kit. Next one up, in fact, these two are both European A6. With this one, I used a piece of cardstock. Can you hand me that one right there? Or a piece of paper from my kit. Yeah, this piece. You could actually get 2 out of this card, out of this one piece of paper. So I used that corner. Okay, I covered my cardstock with my European A6 with gold mirror board. Cut out my always and forever. I took foamies. This is why I said I was going to tell you about these embellishments. You can pay a whole lot of money for embellishments, or you can just find your art where it is. These are foamies. Remember when Doris did big packages of foamies? This is foam, art foam. It was out of the kids' aisle. And after Valentine's Day, several years ago, I picked these up for like $1/4 a package after Valentine's Day at 80, 90% off. You'll have these in your kit. I took this one. I popped the middle hearts out because there's actually a heart inside each of these hearts. I popped the middle hearts out. I stuck my sticker to gold mirror board. I cut out around it, and I have these really pretty gold mirror hearts. And then I put the inside pieces, 2 out of the 3 inside pieces. I could have put all 3 if I wanted, but I just thought it looked good this way. It looked balanced. I took 2 of them and put them at the top of my card. And then I got my stickles bottle. And I cover my heart with stickles. And I covered these with stickles. And I stickled my rose. And I'm just really tickled about the way this turned out. Isn't that fun? Those are off the kids' aisle. And I just think they look very beautiful and fun and perky and just interesting. I liked them a lot. This one, I did the same thing. This time, I took a European A6. I covered it in gold mirror board. This time, I took a piece of, this is just a pink cardstock. I cut it to 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. I used one of those. Used a leftover of this lace or lacy print from my cardstock pack. This is from the Saturday cardstock pack. I used a leftover piece. I took that and put it on, trying to decide if that was one piece or if I did that. I believe that is one piece with the dark pink. I believe it is because I don't feel any border there. I took that leftover piece and I stuck that onto my card, but before I did, I wrapped it with a piece of satin ribbon right through the middle of that pink stripe to give that a soft, shiny, tactile finish. I took one of my round toppers. I cut a piece of mirror board to go behind it with my circled eyes and put it on some foam squares. This love is out of my foamies pack. One of the hearts up here, this little one, came out of the middle of the O, and the other one came out, was the third heart from here, from these. Covered them with some stickles, so they're nice and shiny and fun. And I thought they made beautiful grown-up cards. Isn't that fun? Grab your art where you find it, guys, and sometimes it's on the kids' row. I think they're really fun. Questions about that? What I did there? Might think I'm crazy, but I thought it worked pretty well as a Valentine. I thought it was great fun. Any questions, guys? Let's look at our cards again for today. What we've made, leave that back to me. What we've made, there's a lot left in this kit. You can make so many more Valentines, but it gave you a bunch of ideas to get you started about how you can use the dice and things that we have done. So here, I'm going to show you the finished one because this one's is not finished yet, as you know. I will show you this one, though, where we changed the silver to black. And we'll grab our black Valentine we made. So today we have a total of 6 cards in this kit. This is going to be a very cost-effective kit for today because, as we know, we are using the papers from Saturday. So we'll use the papers from Saturday. We'll use them again today. Today's kit is only going to include The embellishments, it's going to include this foiled set. This one, this one, this one are from the hot off the press Dufect sheet. The foamies, you'll get the foamies. You'll get the ribbon here. You'll get the nail heads. You'll get the mirror board, the colored cardstock, and everything else. We'll add some black. The black and the black lace were not in the original kit. So you're going to get the red lace, you're going to get the black cardstock, and you're going to get all the extras we put on these, which is going to make this a very, very affordable kit. And the Saturday kit and this one combined, Saturday's kit had how many cards, Brittany? 1, 2, 5, 6 or 7 cards on Saturday and another 6 here. So I'm giving you a dozen kits right there, or a dozen cards right there. And there are so many more cards you can make using the pieces that you'll have in this kit. And remember, these don't have to be, they don't absolutely have to be Valentine's. You can use these for Mother's Day and other occasions too, because what's more classic than a rose? So you've got all these beautiful rose toppers, and I love you sentiments. You can use these for wedding cards, for Mother's Day, for birthdays. There's so much that you can do with this. So you're going to have a lot of materials left. They are going up either tonight or tomorrow morning, but they will be available for purchase really soon. She's working on it right now. And she's working on tomorrow, or this kit next. So they will be up imminently. I mean, really, really soon. And they're so cute.
The other question that we had is, what are you doing Saturday?
I think we're going to do a steampunk card set on Saturday. The Saturday kit number 1 was last Saturday and tonight. Yes. This is called Paper Boutique Valentine's. Kit 1 was last Saturday. Kit 2 is tonight.
Endless Love.
Endless Love.
Endless Love, sorry. Paper Boutique, Endless Love, Valentine's, Kit 1 and Kit 2. And they'll be up very shortly. Kit 1's going to be more expensive than 2 because it has all the paper. This one's going to be very inexpensive in the greater scheme of things because it only has a punch-out sheet, some nail heads, some Mary card links, foamies. So it's not going to be expensive. But the two of them combined are going to make at least a dozen. Well, they'll make a dozen cards they've shown you right here. And you can make at least that many more. There's a lot of material in this kit. Okay. Saturday, I don't have samples to show you yet for Saturday. Do you guys want to see the cards from last weekend again? So you can see what else you're getting in the Kit 1, Kit 2. Thank you. These are what else you'll get with the Kit 1. Now remember, in order to have the Kit 2 make any sense, you really have to have the Kit 1 because our papers are from Kit 1. So Kit 1 can be purchased individually if you want, but if you want Kit 2, you have to get Kit 1 or you won't have all the papers. This is one of our cards from last week. Very Victorian looking, isn't it, little girl? Here's one of our cards from last week. And remember what we did with this one, which I just really, really like, is we took that frame, wherever that frame has gone, I was going to show you. I cut that frame twice, layered them, and glued them together. And then we made that big tall frame out of that. Isn't that fun? Made that frame on sepia out of 2 of those little frames. Yeah, this one. I cut this twice, glued them together, and backed it with mirror board. So I think that's pretty. You will get the little rose in there with the pearl, the lace. This one. This one. This one. This one. And this one. Between these and the Valentines we did from the Valentine or from the Tattered Lace Kit 88, you'll have at least, oh, I don't know. I mean, you get so many cards from each of them, but you'll have a minimum of like 17 cards, 17 Valentines. Is it okay to make your own Valentine card? Well, of course. Our own Valentine card. Yeah, of course. Any other questions? This weekend, steampunk. I want you to see how pretty those are done because the packaging does nothing for those, but I think they're going to be really pretty made up. So I just wanted to do at least one of those to see what we think. Okay? Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for supporting our little business, for your prayers for Mom and for each other and our spouses and all of those afflicted with COVID, and for standing up for each other and for just being there. You know, I love that we have each other. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please smash that thumbs up button. Make me happy. And that will help us to have more people exposed to our channel through YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber, don't miss a single episode of what we're up to. Hit that subscribe button so YouTube can remind you when we're doing something. And I like that sentiment, Annette. Love and hugs to all. And in the absence of any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom from Brittany, Margie, and Debbie, let's just say good night, Gracie. We'll see you Saturday.